We are back, and it is lunchtime.
I love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want, and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no, I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me.
It's lunchtime. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Lunch with the Clydesdale. We are back and better than ever after 3 days off last week. Finally good to be back in the seat. We did it last night with the Sunday night show, but good to be back at lunchtime with all of you. Wow, a lot of you already in the chat. We've got Amanda. We've got Mike. We've got Trent, Olive, Lido, Joseph Ramirez, Meredith, Jay Birch. So good to see you all. Craig Pasley, Vicky. So awesome to be here. I don't have any notes for today. I'm just here. We're going to chat about some stuff. We'll see where it goes. I was hoping Corey was going to be here today because I wanted to bounce something off of him, but maybe we'll have to wait. Oh, speak of the
cowboy.
He is in the backstage area and ready to make an appearance.
Sorry, I'm late.
It's all right. I was afraid I was confusing you with I had done all the shows for the week in the studio.
No. I just was trying to get here. That's all there is to it.
Okay. No speeding tickets or anything, right?
No. Thank goodness.
All right.
Just turning stuff off right quick. Anyway, hi everybody.
Standing ovation. According to House, he just likes to be a little bit late to get the extra special introduction.
If you ask my wife, she will tell you I am 100% full of drama. So
I am I'm one of those guys that cannot stand to be late.
No, I hate it. I realized the time and I was trying to wrap some shit up and I'm like, I gotta get there.
You're not talking about you today and anything. We were off a lot last week.
Yeah.
And it's just a thing. Like, it's been a fight in my 30-year marriage since day one.
I am lucky, blessed that my wife hates being late as much as I do.
I am not that blessed. I refuse to stand up and get ready to go out the door until she is like, has the door open and 1 foot out.
Right.
Because I'm just tired of false starts. I'm tired of all of that stuff. It's ridiculous. When we go to church, I like to get there to get a good seat, all that kind of stuff. And she would always say, "Oh, why do we have to always be there before Jesus?"
You can't get there before Jesus.
Yeah, I know.
That's just
train, if you ain't early, you're late. Yep, I agree.
15 minutes early is on time. On time is late. That's how I was raised.
Wayne says that thumb ain't for sitting on. Everybody click it. That means the like button and the subscribe button. Mike DeVito, Scott, is it the same getting out of the car? My wife has to grab 3 bags, 2 Stanleys, last minute makeup. Yes. And I have to lock the door, and we have like a fob where you just hit the button on the door handle, but I can't do it until she gets out and closes the door. So right. I just started to just sit in the seat, and she goes, "What, are you going to get on your phone?" No, just waiting. Because I'd rather sit here and wait than wait for you standing by the door in the rain, in the gusty wind, whatever it is.
It actually has way less to do with you than you would think. Just being patient.
Sure, I'm comfortable in the waiting period.
100%.
Yeah,
Oh,
like she's the only like she'll be like drop me off at the store. She's the only person that doesn't have anything ready. So I pull up to the store, like blocking traffic, and I've got to wait 5 minutes for her to collect all of her belongings to get out and go into the store.
bless you.
It's great. My mom was here all weekend and she goes, "You need to stop bashing your wife on your show." And I'm like, "I'm not bashing her. I love her to death. I mean, we've been married for 29 years this May.
Right.
Love her to death, but she, those are facts."
She is who she is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say the same thing, dude. My wife is who she is, and I love her for it. I love her for it. My life would be so less interesting without her in it, and all of the semi crazy stuff that she does. So I'm grateful for her.
Trained Olive, we need to have your wife on a show, Scott. I'm not sure I can handle that. I am not sure.
We'd be a little more likely to get Mama Schweitzer on.
Yeah, I'm not sure. So we did a Bible study show a long time ago, and my wife participated and was on a few times. So she has been on the show a couple times. And when we had Christmas Sabbath on a while ago, my wife is a huge Big Brother fan.
Yeah.
And she did like come downstairs and hop on to say hi to Christmas Sabbath. So
I seen you on TV.
So it's been a couple times she's jumped on, but I call it being stuck in traffic in my parking spot. Yeah, it's a good way to put it. We got Braden J, 21, new listener from the Sevonverse. I have loved the content the past few shows, and I'm happy your surgery went smoothly. Plan to stay. Keep up the good work. Awesome.
Appreciate it.
I wish the after part of the surgery went better, but
I mean, it is what it is. We knew going in that there was going to be a chance that we might have to do this again. So it's not like it's hopefully the best, plan for the worst.
Still waiting on the call today to find out what the EKG said on Friday, right, and what the next steps are going to be. But Joseph Ramirez, Christmas Abbott, CrossFit Crush, first CrossFit Crush. I think she was many men's first CrossFit Crush, and probably some women too.
I was going to say a lot of people.
Met Christmas once, took my selfie, and my friend photobombed the background. I still haven't forgiven him. Did you have a first CrossFit Crush, Corey, or you keep that to yourself?
Oh, wow. When I first started paying attention and actually seeing everybody, I would say I probably got two of them. One of them is actually yours. You and I share one.
Okay.
Yep. And the other one is Camille Lamont by his name.
She was a lot of people's first CrossFit Crush too.
Absolutely unreal. Maybe even three. Oh goodness. I know the girl's name, Jamie Green. Man,
I know that's a lot of people's as well.
Jamie Absolute Green, 100%. But
lap was Sam Dancer.
The one we share would be Miss Stacy Tovar.
Yes. She is my first CrossFit Crush. The fact that I've gotten to meet her, and nobody has ever made me nervous when I was volunteering, when I was doing media, any of that kind of stuff, except for her. Yeah. And I had to put together her 5'11" vest and get it sized for was it the 15 or 16 regionals, where they had to wear the vest to do strict, one with the strict muscle up and the.
I'm going to say that's 15. I know which one you're talking about. I want to say that's 15.
It's a named workout. I can't.
Yes. If you wouldn't have asked me, I could have told you, but I know which one you're talking about.
And I've gone to her gym. I've worked out there, got to meet her there, a whole bunch of stuff. So,
Pioneered white shorts.
Crush back in the day. Kenneth Telep, Lindsay Valenzuela. Alessandra Pacelli. I thought she was very attractive. And then I met her in person.
And you're like,
I'm like, whoa, it's at another level than I even thought.
Can confirm. How about that?
She is so stunning in person.
Oh, Margot.
Margot is the nicest. She's got to be the number one all time nicest human being I've ever encountered in the CrossFit space.
And I know that's not lip service because this is not the first or second or fifth time I've heard you say that.
Just flat out the nicest person I have ever met.
She's another one that I've never heard anybody had a bad encounter with. Never. I've never heard the words, I met Margot Alvarez and it sucked. And that's never been I've never heard a thing.
Julie Fouché from EdAI. Julie was my level 1 instructor the first time I got my level 1. And I got to know her over the years. I actually did her podcast, gosh, maybe 4 years ago, something like that now.
Damn.
I don't know. It seems like forever, but, and I would actually consider Julie a friend. We've actually communicated outside of the CrossFit space a few times.
Julie had one of the coolest Rogue shirts ever, with her doing the handstand with the boot on her foot. Like so
it's behind that Lowen shirt right there.
Yeah. That was insane. They would never allow that nowadays, FYI. That's how back in the day that was. That would never fly today.
Dr. Matt Murphy, Julie Fouché was my first CrossFit crush. Ed's headed to the affiliate class, but glad you're back. Scott, thank you so much for that. Keeping it real, Froning. Rich Froning is to this day my favorite male athlete all time. To this day. It will take a lot to overtake him. And talk about a kind human being. He is really kind.
He's one of the people that you meet once and you don't forget it. And it's not because he's larger than life. It's because he's sincerely that genuine. When you know this much about him, you meet him for 5 minutes and he's a dude. He's a dude's dude. It's crazy.
Jay Birch, of course, I'm pretty fond of Bethany Flores, as he went to her affiliate for a while.
Yep.
And Bethany's another one of those people where you think they're attractive and then you see them in person and you're like,
oh yeah, confirmed.
I didn't think it could get better, and it really, really does. Corey is exactly right. Sincerely genuine, regular dude, good dude. Yeah. I love the fact that every time he sees me, he's like, hey, Rich Froning, how you doing? I know who you are, Rich.
He does that to people everywhere he goes. It doesn't matter if he's speaking somewhere, if he's at whatever. Like, I have multiple reports of just he introduces himself every single time as if people in this space have no idea who he is. Like, unless you got here yesterday, like unless you signed up, walked in off the street yesterday, 99% chance you know who Rich Froning is.
And that tells you exactly who he is as a human.
Yeah. That's what stuck out to me.
Right.
We were there to see him speak, and he introduced himself to every single person he talked to afterwards and got their name and repeated it. Like, good job, Papa Froning and Mama Froning, because that's a man who was raised right. Like, that's what you do when you meet people. I'm terrible at it. I meet people for the first time and I immediately forget their names.
Lauren Fisher and her long, messy hair. Yeah, I remember it. The first time I met her was at Rogue. She was here doing the team competition.
Mm-hmm.
She looked like she was 12.
Yeah, I've always thought she looks super young. Even today, when you see pictures of her, she still looks. She's probably part vampire because I don't think she ages.
There was something here from Winter about Ben Smith's body.
Oh, she said Ben Smith's body, but his face is okay.
If we're talking bodies, Neil Maddox is the body I want my head on.
I'm trying to think of the last time I actually saw a picture of Neil Maddox.
Neil Maddox is perfection.
All right, look, we can get back into that because I know I've said this 100 times, but that picture that I have of Rich, the first thing my wife said was you could see his abs through his shirt, and I was like, yeah, you can. Ricky, yes, dude, Ricky has a ridiculous body.
Neil is too slender. He was bigger than most of the people on the floor. Ricky Garrard, Bailey Martin is well built.
I was rewatching the 25 documentary again last night, and they showed Ricky doing toes to bar, and I'm like, I want those abs. Jesus H Christ, dude. Like he's absolutely insane.
My daughter thought she was in love with Alex Smith.
I mean,
he is a really he is a good looking man.
Ripped. He's absolutely ripped.
Dan Bailey, J.R. Howe, and Lito says Enrico Zanoni has the best body in CrossFit.
It's Lito with a hot take. I would have to go take a picture and look at Enrico Zanoni because I have not seen that dude. I couldn't pick him out of a lineup. Like, I know the name, I know who he is, but could not pick him out of a lineup.
All right, enough of the stuff.
Whatever that is.
Yeah, I promise this was a no notes episode. So
yeah,
easy. No votes for Marcus Philly. He left CrossFit behind and trash talked it. Nope, not giving it to him.
Yep, and still.
Train all of Alex Anderson. Alex Anderson's a good looking dude.
Alex Anderson is a ridiculously good looking dude.
Yeah, volunteer time I had to escort him to pee in a cup. Yeah, he's a good looking dude. I didn't watch the peeing in process. Just got him to the room.
Yeah, that wasn't part of your job.
So one thing I wanted to talk about is, and we talked about it briefly last night on the show, is masters getting to compete in person for the first time.
Yeah.
And I've talked to a lot of my friends, and the order in which people are being invited is chaotic. Is that
best?
And you see people being invited that don't make any sense at all, and people ahead of them on the leaderboard not getting invites. And I've talked to Jamie. Jamie finished 18th in the world in her division. She should be getting an invite from every one according to their things.
Yeah.
And she's received nothing. I talked to you. You finished 54th in your division. And if you listen to Micah on the Jason Grubb podcast, you should be on the list because of other invites or people around the world or whatever. And it just doesn't make any sense. Now, Lito got one from Magic City. Lito was top 3, top 4.
I want to say, I think top 3. Yeah.
So I would see her getting an early invite. That makes sense. But there are other things going on that, yeah, this is the stuff. I think I saw an 84th get a Magic City Games invite. That makes no sense.
A dude that I competed with a couple different times who was in my age group who finished 20 spots or so below me already accepted his invite. And I am obsessively checking my email. If you could wear out an email, like, I would probably have done that by now. I went from obsessively checking my Instagram to obsessively checking my email once I had a brief conversation with whoever is running Magic City Games' Instagram account.
So before we talk about that, Shanna, second in her age group, nothing yet.
There you go.
The leaderboard is final now, correct? Well, there is no video review. I mean, unless they ask for the video review, and all the affiliates had to verify the scores by Wednesday of last week. So they should be as final as they're going to be. These events are happening within a month.
Here's the thing. For everybody who did quarterfinals, if you go open up your app, and you probably got an email about it too, it gives you a breakdown on how you did during quarterfinals. So like, if it's telling you that, oh, like mine, you get a bunch of different little prompts, pictures, whatever you want to call them. And it shows you your place in, and it'll show your percentage. And there's one of them that's like, only 50% of men 45 to 49 can do 30 strict handstand push-ups, like all that kind of stuff. So if it's telling you all of this stuff, the leaderboard's finalized. Because otherwise they're just sending out shit just to sending out shit. Like, and that's not cool, right? I understand that having to verify the elites via video for the people that are winning money, right?
Yep. Lito says the breakdown has an asterisk that it might still change.
Good catch, Lito. I did not see that.
Pull
that back.
So I don't know if you said it here just a couple of seconds ago, but in your communications with the social media person from Magic City, they said that they have not received the email lists from CrossFit yet.
Correct.
If that is in fact the truth, what the hell are you doing, CrossFit? You've aligned with these companies to run your semifinals for you, and you can't get an email list out. It's not that hard.
It's really not.
It's a list of name, email, so you can contact the people on the leaderboard to give them an invite. The fact that Magic City is saying they have to search and find some of these people to get invites out is crazy.
Yeah. Mark already did that.
I'd message them my email and my placing. No shame. Yeah. Corey did that.
I already did that Saturday. That's how I ended up having the conversation. And the girl told me that HQ has not given them an email list at all. If you go look on Legends, like they're getting invites out the same way. It looks like last I checked on in my age group anyway, there's only 8 people on their leaderboard so far. Magic City's ones you can't see. It's still hidden.
Alito says a small team, Scott. It only takes one person to go to the sort and say, women 35 to 39, here's a list of names and email addresses. You don't even have to send out the placing. They can then go to the leaderboard, find the people they want to invite, go to the list in the Excel spreadsheet, search it for the name, and at least have the email to send it out.
Yeah.
If you were a master's athlete, though, I would check spam. I would check all of your other folders, because these are email addresses that are probably not in your. Go ahead.
What they're sending is the email part of it anyway is a link to Competition Corner to sign up. So if you've already signed up or something, chances are better not you're going to get it from Competition Corner. And if not, go to Competition Corner, go look at your invites and see if there's anything in there. Like I've been down so many different rabbit holes. I talked to me and David Johnston have been messaging back and forth since Thursday or Friday about this in particular, because when they messaged him on Instagram, he didn't see it first, because it was like, I didn't get an invite either. And he finished like 3rd or 4th, something along those lines, like inside the top 5. I'm 99% sure.
Yeah, probably your requested folder on Instagram, because you're not, I don't know. It's just weird.
Yeah.
Ken says, email Dave. The problem is CrossFit doesn't get to invite you.
No.
They have contracted with these third-party entities The invite has to come from them.
Correct. So that's what I've done. Like I said, I had a fairly productive conversation. This was Saturday afternoon with the lady who's running their social media. She was very, very like, because I feel like a jackass doing that every single time, right? You know, where's my invite? Whatever. So I'm very, very self-conscious about that kind of stuff. But at the same time, when I see somebody, like I said, who's 20 something spots behind me and they've got one, I'm not that hard to find on Instagram. I'm really not. I don't feel like I am. I don't know. I haven't ever had to search for myself. Right. But I don't know, like that's my handle. I don't know if you search my name, if it comes up. I have absolutely no idea.
I think so.
But I started tagging them and stuff since then. And then this morning I went ahead and just messaged Micah directly after finishing up the Grubs podcast and listening to their talk, because he said he's been getting, you know, Instagram messages basically since last week of people stating their case as to why they should be invited. And my case as to why I should be invited is I'm inside the top 55 people on 45-49. So like,
Alito says, I got my invite on Instagram, so they're clearly inviting people already without emails. It did go into my message request initially, though. Yeah, they actually told Corey that. They said they are trying to find people however they can. But again, you're inviting 42 people from 35 to 44. Then it's what, 20?
Yeah, it's 28.
28 people from whatever to 59. And then it's a little bit less on up. But that's a lot of people to look up.
It's a lot of people to sort through. It is.
And
I'm trying to be
the right person on Instagram on a worldwide database.
Right. I'm trying to be as patient as I can, but that's part of the conversation I had with that girl. I said, I'm sorry. I said, CrossFitters aren't exactly known for being super patient. Like that's not a thing that we generally possess as far as that kind of stuff's concerned. And she said, neither are we. She said, which is why we're doing what we're doing now, because with no email list from HQ, they're literally just hunting in the dark at this point, right? And depending on how big their team is that's doing that, and it was a holiday weekend, right? So I'm trying to give them a little bit of slack for that. But at the same time, I'm like, you found all these other people. I just gave you all of my stuff. Here is my name. Here is my placement. Here is my age group. Here is my email. And it's 11:43 on Monday morning, and I still don't have anything. So that part's frustrating for me.
So if they're taking this long in the masters world, are they taking the same amount of time in the elite world? Like, it just seems to be a mess. You knew this was coming.
You planned it out.
Right. Why didn't you say, hey, here's everybody registered, their names and emails in this age group, and give it to Magic City? Or, hey, here's everybody in the world that's registered. And here you go. You can search this database of people. It's just the name and email.
I mean,
you can cross-reference it with the leaderboard to do your invites.
Yeah. To compile a list of people that signed up for quarterfinals, which is way less than what's on for the actual open, shouldn't be that. I wouldn't think it'd be that difficult. I don't work in IT, but my wife does spreadsheets on a regular basis, and she said it shouldn't be that hard to do.
Not at all. There is a table behind their website where you register. I'm sure it stores all this information, and you just have to query that database to pull those two fields: name, email. Amanda says, I saw 36th place of 35 to 39 and 37th place 40 to 44 posted as registered today. That's what's happening too, is Magic City is posting all these people who are saying that they're registered now, and they're sharing it, and it's just adding to the chaos, because you're like, wait a minute, I finished 28th. Why did they get theirs before I got mine? And there's no explanation as to how it's being done.
Yeah, that's why my wife said, well, how do you know the 70 whatever place. And I said, because I know him, and he posted something on his Instagram and I saw it, and like he's 20 something spots below me. So now I have a question, because clearly you skipped over me and a whole bunch of other people to send this dude an invite, which is, I don't know what their process is. But
if you listen to Micah on the Jason Grubb podcast, they're starting with one and going down the list.
I get that.
And they're going to keep backfilling till it's full. So that's why it makes no sense that someone at 70 whatever gets an invite. I don't know. I just don't know. Anyway. So that's that. It looks like you have a pretty good shot to get an invite.
Yeah.
Like theoretically.
Absolutely.
Are you excited to get to compete at a semifinal level in person?
Yeah. Well, last year, whenever they announced all of this, which me and David Johnston also had this conversation the other day, I got super excited because I like to compete in person. There's not a whole lot of competitions out there for elite level masters athletes to compete. There just aren't. There's Legends, there's MFC, there's a couple other ones where some of the top guys will go to here and there, but like to have a full field of, the highest level, it's not common whatsoever. So I made that my goal. I wanted to put myself in the best possible position I could to get an opportunity to be able to compete in person. And I did. So again, old folks, absolutely. So yeah, I am super stoked to be able to go do it in person, 6 events, 3 days, and put it all out there and see where the chips fall. I mean, why not? What I was, one of the things me and David was talking about is that we are both, I don't say hoping, but kind of torn between like, how many people are going to sign up from the top of the tippity top to go actually and compete in person after saying that they wanted to, right? Oh, this is a great thing. Oh, blah, 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 blah. And then they show up because they're only taking top 2. Like in my age group, it's top 2 from all 5. And then the rest of them online, or as opposed to, well, I'm just going to do the online because it's in my gym and it's, way more in my comfort level and blah, 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 whatever, instead of putting yourself out there on the floor. Like I want to be on the floor. I want to line up next to the David Johnstons and the, whoever else, Brandon Fontenot, and like all these absolute animals, Mike Paget that I know. I want to line up next to him and see what I got, see what my trainer's been doing, and if I make it, awesome. If not, I got more experience on the competition floor. I was going to do a high level comp no matter what. Why not do this one?
Yeah, I hope we get some answers soon. Hopefully the email lists get over quickly. I think the other thing that factor to this that is messing things up big time, so we don't really know who's going to do live, is the online are right at the same time.
It is if you do Magic City, if you do Legends, you got a week and a half ish. If you do Magic City, you got about 4 or 5 days.
And Jamie talked last night that with coming off the surgery with her hip, to go back-to-back weeks is less likely for her.
Right.
She even talked, and this might have been off the air, that if she does go to Magic City, she's actually thinking about staying somewhere close so she doesn't make the big long drive. If she has to do online, she can do it somewhere locally where she can recover and not have the long drive back.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, especially for her, dude, like her shoulder is barely held on at this point. Like she's super glue and duct tape.
She said it's about the same as 2 years ago. And 2 years ago, she took 4th at the games.
I was about there this morning. I was getting caught up whenever she was like, I mean, I've been like 80%. And like, and did pretty well. It's like, by pretty well, you mean fourth. Yeah. Okay. I guess that's pretty well.
Right. Right. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out. I know Carolyn is like really wanting to not have to do online.
Right.
Right. Because she's trying to pack so much in that not having to do that online makes her life so much easier. But it's a risk when you're only getting like 3 spots, right? Or whatever it is for those.
And Carolyn's doing NorCal, right?
She is signed up for NorCal for the elite qualification. She signed up at Del Mar for the Masters.
Right. That's a lot, dude. Like, in a relatively short period of time. A lot on central nervous system, a lot on fitness. Yeah, I'm with you.
Carolyn will not have to do the online. You just never know. You never know what happens that weekend.
Correct. Anything could happen.
Right. That's a crazy, crazy part of it all.
Which is part of why I like doing in person, because anything can happen.
Well, and if you want to be prepared to go to the games at some point, you're not going to be able to control variables there either.
Your start time is your start time.
Used to that, right?
Yeah. Your start time is your start time. The order you're going to do them in is the order they say you're going to do them in. Like, there's not you don't get well, I'm going to do this one first, and then I'm going to turn around and do that one later, and blah, blah, whatever. No, bro. Like, this is how we going. You don't get a redo. You don't get you need to be prepared. That's another reason why I want to go in person.
Howie's on a huge delay and happily married, but Amy Kringle is a smoke show.
He is not wrong.
He is not. She pushed me right over a box. So
she sure did.
Lita says, I hate online and nerve-wracking process of the video review. Well, we talked about it. Well, Ty Jenkins talked about it he was on with the Girls Unfiltered doing commentary, that he took an extra pause at the top of every overhead squat to make sure he didn't get a no rep. So when you're doing online, you lose a freedom of movement, right? When you're in person, someone's going to tell you right away and you can react and make that change, where when you're doing it online, you don't have that freedom. You don't have that freedom to cut it loose and trust that someone's going to be right in their judging decision.
Speaking of David Johnson.
You say his name 3 times and he shows up.
Don't even have to look in the mirror. It's fantastic.
So that's pretty much everything I want to talk about CrossFit today. But I did want to talk about this one thing with you, and I wanted to bounce this off you because I want to get it fascinates me.
Oh, hit me with it.
So, I've been down and out all weekend with everything health-wise.
Yeah.
And so I've been watching a lot of obscure YouTube stuff. So there's this show called the Mount Rushmore.
Okay.
And basically it's these 2 guys, they pick a topic and they bring 2 either famous people from that topic or who are important in that topic some way. And they count their Mount Rushmore of a variety of things. Like I'm in the middle right now of the Mount Rushmore of 90s music. But the first one I watched, and the one that I want to bounce off you it was the Mount Rushmore of stand-up comedians. And here's my question to you. And I'm going to preface this with, when I was a kid, I went through my parents' record collection and I listened to a lot of stuff. Sure. And they had Bill Cosby albums. And to this day, I would say the Bill Cosby albums I listened to in my childhood are some of the best comedy, maybe the best comedy I have ever heard in my life. But at 78 years old, he gets busted for doing some horrible things.
Terrible things.
Does he belong on the Mount Rushmore? Or do you have to take him down because of what he did that we didn't know about until he was 78?
That is a fantastic question.
Because they put Richard Pryor on the mountain, But the man set himself on fire doing drugs. Like
And did a whole bunch of drugs. But here's the thing, he didn't force his drugs on anybody else. And then
true. And he only hurt himself.
Yeah. I think the more you find out about people who are famous, especially, actors, comedians, rock stars, all that stuff, the less you know about their personal lives, the better.
Yeah. And last night we talked about, why do we want to know about all these CrossFitters?
Yes.
So it's all kind of melding together.
100%. I will. The first comedy special I ever saw was Bill Cosby himself.
Classic.
On HBO back in the day. Like that's how much I remember what it was called, right? And then I think the next one I saw, which I probably wasn't supposed to at the time, was Eddie Delirious. Again, and then Raw, right? Those are probably my top 3 stand-up comedy moments as far as that's concerned. Eddie turns out Eddie's a good dude. Bill's in prison.
Yeah.
So
Terry says, I have to take him down. Well, they did not put him on the mountain because of, and Jay Leno was one of the people they brought in to talk about it. And he's like, he wouldn't put anybody alive on because he wants a whole body of work. And Bill Cosby's the example of, the man was only had 10 minutes left.
Yeah.
Right. And he would have been considered a genius. And then it all went up in flames. And now he's in prison.
Rightfully so.
Right. And so it was funny. So Joseph Ramirez, George Carlin, Richard Pryor, Sam Kinison, Eddie Murphy. 2 of those made the mount.
Carlin and Pryor, I'd imagine.
Correct.
Yeah.
Although Eddie Murphy is freaking, like, to me, Eddie Murphy Delirious is the stand-up comedy routine ever. Clock Cutter, my dad had an old vinyl record of early Bill Cosby from like early 60s or something. It was amazing. His old stuff was so funny.
Yeah.
Alito says George Carlin. A Hexy Lover says Richard Pryor, Robin Williams, Eddie Murphy, and top is George Carlin.
I've listened to every single stand-up George Carlin that I could find that he's done. Like, that dude was on a whole nother level. Just the way he thought about stuff.
Mark Phillips, my first Cosby was Picture Pages from Captain Kangaroo.
Captain Kangaroo, baby.
He went a whole extreme from Picture Pages to drugging women to have sex with them.
Yeah. I remember at least the first part of the little song, Picture Pages, Picture Pages.
Grab yourself your picture pages.
Goodness.
Never meet your heroes.
Unless their name is Rich Froning.
Yep. And Eddie Murphy did it in a red leather outfit under those hot ass lights.
And then a purple.
Yeah, for Raw was purple.
Raw was purple under those hot ass lights.
So the reason Eddie didn't make it is because he didn't write all of his material.
Okay, that's fair.
And that's what happens when you have, so they had Judd Apatow and Jay Leno as the celebrities.
Yep.
And that was their criteria. So their Mount Rushmore was Carlin, Pryor, Rodney Dangerfield, and then Jerry Seinfeld.
I would argue about the Jerry Seinfeld thing. But that's just personal preference.
I think the way that Jerry Seinfeld's mind works fascinates me. And if you've never seen the documentary Comedian, he takes you behind his thought process and how he works jokes out and shows himself fail on stage and how he now has to rework the joke to get it to work.
Yeah.
It's sticking with documentary.
Sticking with this. I know there's something here. I just need to figure it out.
Shannon says, do we judge body of work on ethics? In medicine, you would not take a drug or a technique off the market for those reasons.
Oh, why can I not remember? Think of his name? He just died not that long ago.
Joseph Remus says Dave Chappelle should be on the current Mount Rushmore, but who else? Who writes their own stuff now? It was interesting because they brought up Chappelle. Chappelle did make one of the lists. So all four give their own four, and then they condense it into one four. And Jay Leno made a great point about Chappelle, and that is that he considers him more an orator than a comedian, because it's not always to be funny.
No.
Sometimes Chappelle is to hit you between the eyes with something. But I would say the same thing about Carlin. Carlin was that same way.
Carlin was very, very cerebral, extremely so. And like, if you weren't sharp enough to pay attention and keep up with him, like I've had to re-listen to some of his stuff. So I'm like, I don't understand what he's saying. And then go back and like after time, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I got that now.
David Johnson, you're rating the comedian, not the person, right? I guess the question to them was, can you separate the two?
Right. Not an easy thing to do.
No women is interesting. There were a couple women mentioned in the individual four, but I'll be honest with you, the one that got mentioned late, I didn't even know her. And I think she was early on, and it was more about her influence on other things.
And straight stand-up, dude, like there are some funny women out there, but I don't want to say they're few and far between. That sounds so terrible, but the ones that get the recognition, there's only like 3 or 4 of them, and they're relatively new. Or I feel like that anyway.
Shanna says, would you take down a building designed by a bad person? But the building doesn't have a face of the person on it. Is the one big difference.
Yeah.
What about Nate Bargatze? He's new, but one of the best out there right now. Again, there was this big thing about it needed to be a pretty large collection of work or body of work to get to that part. So I think there's a lot more modern women, like old, like classic women. You have Phyllis Diller, Joan Rivers. Elaine Boozler was back in the day.
Oh, man.
And Whoopi Goldberg. But Whoopi was not, I don't even know if I would call Whoopi stand-up, because she was like more one woman plays with lots of characters, all played by her. But one that didn't get mentioned was Robin Williams, and I thought he was one of the best ever.
Wow.
And I guess there's just a lot of people out there that when you think about the subject that
Norm Macdonald. That's what I was trying to think of.
Yeah.
Norm Macdonald. And mostly the reason being is because, again, he's another one that like you really have to pay attention to what he's saying, because he'll just take you on this ridiculous ride and then the punchline comes out of nowhere. I think it was the Conan O'Brien show. The person who was supposed to be after him didn't show up. So like they were like, can you do another 8 minutes? And he was like, sure. He's like, well, we need you to stretch it. And he told a joke that somebody else had told him, but he turned it into like this Russian tragedy thing. And it's one of the best 8 minutes on television anybody's ever seen. And he just did it off the top of his head. Rest in peace, Norm Macdonald.
Yeah. Yeah. Norm is one of those, like, it's like a Chinese restaurant. Either you love it or you hate it. And you don't really know who's going to love it and who's going to hate it. Yeah.
I never, for the longest time, I did not understand his stuff. And then like, he's another one that you have to kind of like, oh, okay, got it.
The other thing that Leno made a comment of is he thinks the best comedians come close to the line, but don't go over it, because it creates a tension between you and the audience. Like, and he said a lot of comedians make the mistake of now going over the line to shock you, but then that shock goes away.
Yeah. Well, it's reacting off of emotion at that point, right? There's only so much of that you can actually do and still get people excited or whatnot.
We're riding the line. You keep the tension with you in the audience, and they're wondering, how far is he going to go? Is he going to take another step? Or she?
100%.
I liked Margaret back in the day a little. I also a big fan of Nikki Glaser. Nikki is obviously newer, but neither have the body of work yet, at least in my opinion. You never knew what you get with Rob Williams, but it was always hysterical. It would, you
Manic.
never knew because he ad-libbed so much.
Yeah. Manic. I like most. So the original, what's the animated movie? Here's the genie. Jesus Christ.
Aladdin.
Thank you. Most of his stuff was just him.
Yeah.
Like there was none of that. Like the vast majority of that stuff was not written down on paper. And it was take after take after take after take of him just doing different stuff with it. And he did that for apparently a lot of his comedic roles, where it was just, they'd give him basically a scenario. He'd be like, cool. And then run with it and see what happens.
And what's funny is I watched a thing with Matt Damon talking about Good Will Hunting.
Yeah.
And if you know the scene where he comes home or there's a note on his door.
Yes.
And Matt Damon is left and the letter, and he reads it out loud. And the last line is Rob Williams going, he stole my line.
He stole my line.
That was not written. That was all Rob Williams. So he did it in more than just comedy.
Yeah. It was brilliant.
Joseph Ramirez, Norm Macdonald's Burt Reynolds impersonation was classic. Louis C.K. crosses or rides the line. That was the actual example they were using.
Oh, I bet.
That Jay Leno felt like when he rode the line, he was a much better comic, but he's slipped over the line more times and he's not as funny as he used to be. Because one of the guys actually had Louis C.K. as a top 4.
Yeah, I could see that. Louis C.K. is pretty funny. And I would also agree with the fact that, like, sometimes he just, and you got to go pretty far for to go too far for me.
Right. Well, that was a fun conversation. If you want to know about CrossFit crushes, about Rushmore of comedians, or masters trying to get their invites to competitions, today was your show.
Today, we got the whole gamut.
And tomorrow, who knows what we'll talk about. But I am going to hit that Justin Medeiros YouTube video with the relish. He did a thing for charity, I think, where he visited like boxes on the way to a competition or to California.
Okay.
Or something. I don't know. I heard it's good. I heard it's really heartwarming and really good. So I'm going to check that out this afternoon. Maybe we'll talk about that. And Trent Olive says, glad you're back. I'm glad I'm back too. You know what else I'm glad of? Thirdsy. Thirdsy.com/Jazzy. Get 15% off your order. Again, use Jazzy at checkout and you get 15% off your order. With that, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. It's so good to be back. Can't wait to talk to you again tomorrow. And Corey, thank you for indulging me on these sidetracks today.
It's kind of what I do.
With that, bye everybody. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you soon.